Hi, good evening, everyone. Welcome back. Okay. Today, I would like to ask you present your topic, okay, in the group project, and then we can discuss again maybe some part of your assignment, this meeting about MCTM. Some of you did not get it correctly. Then we will discuss more about AHP and bottom drum. If we finish, we can also join the about financial analysis. If not, maybe next meeting. Yeah. Okay. So first thing first. By the way, can you hear me well? Okay, no problem. Okay. So please open your video. Okay. Who want to present first for your group project? It's just a topic. Anyone? Yeah. You have submitted 2 weeks ago, right? So all you need to do is just present. Who will do first?
Prof, I'll just like to ask my group mates if they're ready.
Okay.
Mhm.
All I need to all of you so that we present.
Prof, I think we can go first.
Okay, Katrina, go with your group.
Okay. Sir, can I have permission to share
Go,
the screen?
go.
Okay.
You are co-host already.
Okay. Mhm.
Okay. Katrina,
Alright.
Okay, go.
Can you see, Prof?
Yes.
Okay. So, good evening, everyone. So, uh, our group is composed of myself, Paula De Leon, and Angelo Galang. So our chosen location is an intersection in Pampanga, the MacArthur Highway, Mabalacat, Magalang Road. And with this project, we'll be conducting some kind of traffic impact assessment on this intersection to determine what approaches we can take to improve the situation. So to start the presentation, may I call on my group mate Paulo for the introduction.
Good evening po, Prof. and classmates. So, we have chosen this specific intersection in Mabalacat City. So, a little backgrounder po. Mabalacat City is the northernmost part city of Pampanga Province. If you are familiar with the Clark Freeport Zone and the Clark International Airport, it is within our territorial jurisdiction or territorial boundary. And this particular intersection is uh is the entrance or is leading to the entrance of that Freeport zone. And if you can see here in the Google Maps, the traffic congestion is really excuse me, is really apparent because this highway, the northbound and southbound part is the Manila North Road or the MacArthur Highway as seen here location. MacArthur Highway, and the eastbound to westbound is the Magalang Mabalacat Road. Current situation, the area is unsignalized because we have disabled the signal since it is causing more trouble than it is helping us. When we turned it on, heavy vehicular traffic up to 3 kilometers queue length would appear because the focus of the traffic signal is the one from east to westbound, the one coming out from the Freeport zone. Next po. There's data requirements. Classified directional vehicular volume count, directional pedestrian volume count, vehicular occupancy survey, DPWH AADT data. This data, aside from the pedestrian volume count, can be seen in our local public transport route plan draft. It's a 2018 data. Maybe we can study again the area and conduct a traffic survey plus the pedestrian volume count if it's possible. Next po. Yeah. So what would be our objectives in this topic? Number one, or letter A, analyze the current traffic condition in the study area. Number two, forecast the future demand. Number three, devise suitable traffic management strategies to mitigate traffic congestion. We can, letter D, examine the proposed mitigation scenarios using KPIs. And lastly, choose the best case scenario using cost-benefit analysis.
So for the next part, Prof, this is our proposed conceptual framework. So we will start with the formulation of proposed mitigating measures, and then we will conduct traffic surveys, but this depends on the availability of data. So first, traffic surveys or collection of data. Next is the initial analysis and then modeling of the current scenario. And after that is the travel demand forecasting in order to determine future demand. And then this will make use of growth rate, future do nothing scenarios, and the four-step model. And then in the end, we will propose some scenarios that can possibly improve the situation. So this will be based on the KPI. And lastly, the cost-benefit analysis between the proposed alternatives will be considered, including the project cost, VOC, travel time, and the benefit cost ratio. And then the contents of the paper, of course, starting from the introduction and the existing condition will be composed of the methodology for data collection if there is a need to collect additional data. And the 2.2 is the transportation system, the current situation, including the road network, traffic signal, public transport, pedestrian and cycling infrastructure. And then next As part of the existing condition is the traffic analysis based on the peak hours, vehicle composition and occupancy. And then lastly will be the list or summary of all the issues determined based on the previous data. And then next would be the parameters to measure the current scenario. So next will be the travel demand forecasting, which will be discussed by my groupmate Angelo.
Hi, good evening, Prof. So for travel demand forecasting, we'll use the AADT data from the DPWH. And then for future do nothing scenario, we'll use the base scenario that we have already calibrated and validated the model. And then we'll input the future growth rate or future uh, vehicle inputs. And then we'll measure the same key performance indicators. Next. And then for travel demand forecasting, 3.1. So uh, uh, mainly there are two approaches in this large demand and limited supply. So next. So in the next steps, we can decrease the demand or control the demand or increase the capacity using the travel demand management and capacity enhancement. So our mitigating measures, proposed mitigating measures that we will mix and match in the scenario management later are number coding scheme, shift to public transport, so improving the public transport, rerouting using bypass roads or other available roads, and traffic signalization, traffic signal optimization and coordination. Next. Next, please. Yeah. So for the next step is the next backup. Proposed mitigating measures, we can do the four-step model, that generation, distribution, the modal split, and the trip assignment. Next po. Yeah. So for cost benefit analysis, we'll estimate the project cost per scenario, and then we'll compute the vehicle operating cost from the PWH standards, and then we'll estimate the travel time savings by converting the travel time savings to monetary value. So every time per vehicle type has their own value of time in peso. And then we'll divide them and get the benefit cost ratio.
Yeah. Oh, very good. Okay. Is there any comment from other groups, probably, or suggestion? Anyone?
Sir, I think
Yes.
everything is in order.
Okay. Uh, okay. In that case, I have several comments. No? First, you said the problem is when you do a signalization, okay, when you do a traffic signal, the queue is longer. Is that correct?
Yes, Prof.
So
But we'll
right
try
now
to.
it's unsignalized.
Mm-hmm.
So unsignalized is no problem.
During when it's unsignalized, it's still congested. It's just much worse when there's traffic
Mm.
signal. But the traffic signal may just need optimization. Not
That's correct. So when you do uh, meaning from unsignalized to signalized, okay, there is an investment, right? That means the situation should be better. But when the situation not better, probably the way to adjust the traffic signal timing and phasing is probably the problems. No? So probably you need to simulate better on that case. And
Mm.
next, there is also a possibility if you want. Optionally, you can try to use a microscopic ideal flow network. I think Katrina already learned about
Mm.
this. Okay. For example, you can allow or disallow U-turn, allow or disallow left turn. Okay.
Mm.
And then instead of just one intersection, you can
Mm.
analyze a small network surrounding this intersection so that you can make, for example, some part become one way, some part become U-turn, and so on in the microscopic lab. Okay. Uh, Next, my question, why are you using growth rate if you can do a better result using probably regression? And so
Okay.
regression part is for the IATT, right? And then next
Mm.
is about OD. Do you have OD data
Mm.
on this particular area?
Prof, basically right now we'll just try to mine what data we will be able to collect, and then
Oh,
Mm.
from that we will determine which is the final
okay.
course to take.
Because without the OD data, you cannot do the four-step models, right? The- One of the requirement of four-step models is the OD, origin destination date. So
Mm.
with,
Uh,
yes,
uh, Prof, maybe we can uh, project the percentage of the directional volumes of the intersection to other intersections. So for example, if these percentage of vehicles is going to the north, then maybe in our small road network, will assume that the exit on the north would be in this percentage.
yeah.
Can we do
So
that,
in
Prof?
that case, you have the probability to turn left or right.
Mm,
Is that correct? That's
mm,
not OD data. That's
yes.
just topic. So in that case, IFN will be
Ah,
better. Right?
okay.
So
So,
okay.
mm,
Anyway,
thank you,
so
Prof.
please consider the suggestion. Okay.
Mm,
Yeah. Thank you very much for
Thank
your
you.
presentation. Yeah.
Thank you, Prof.
Yes.
thank you,
Thank you.
Prof.
Next, who want to present? How many groups do we? Anyone? eventually you will present all, right? It's just the order.
Sir, I'd like to ask my group mates first if we can present our tentative topics.
Okay.
Uh,
Christine, I think you can go. Hey, Resi, are you there?
Okay.
Yes, Abby. Yes, I mean,
Okay, good evening, everyone. Good evening, sir.
Hi.
The group consists of Christine, Resi, and myself. So, next, please. Our tentative topics will be Sorry, sir, I can't turn off my camera because I'm sick. I'm in a bad state. So our topic 1 is Metro Manila Bus Network Project. Topic 2, Barangay Mantivo, Cebuco, Zamboanga del Norte to Barangay Vitali, Zamboanga City, Diversion Road with community shuttle system. And the topic 3 is Pasama Floating Bike Expressway. For topic 1, next please. Is the Metro Manila Night Bus Network Project. As we all know that the Metro Manila has been a very busy um, um, uh, we really need to address address the
Hello,
need of
Abby.
for reliable. Hello, can you hear me?
Your audio's
Yes.
kinda choppy. I can take over na lang.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Okay. Sure. So for our first topic proposal, it's the Metro Manila Night Bus Network project, which aims to provide transportation, particularly during the nighttime hours, to address the underserved populations that have night shift work and also those who just go out for entertainment or to run errands. So, oh, sorry, my slide's late. So our objectives is really to enhance the accessibility of public transport services at nighttime and during off hours of of regular office hours. There will also be real-time tracking of the fleet for the convenience of the passengers, especially since it's nighttime. It's not that safe to just stay by the road and hope that a bus or a jeep will come. So that's also one of our objectives. And we also want to advance digital transactions for this sort of service. So our goal is for the public to have an improved commuting experience and also to boost the economy, especially at night, since we have a lot of BPOs that cater to US markets and those at another time zone, and also to reduce the traffic congestion. Anecdotally, so I'm from the Department of Transportation, and even at night and in the like around 12 midnight, there's still a buildup of traffic, especially along EDSA. So the goal is really to serve the underserved population. So our main evaluation criteria will actually be using service area analysis, since we want to make sure that we connect the settlements where people live, the places where people work, especially the BPO, what we call business process outsourcing centers, which operate at night, mostly or call centers. Also entertainment districts like the Entertainment City, the casinos in Manila, Pasay area, the Tomas Morato where there are a lot of restaurants. So those different types of businesses also. So it's really connecting those areas. For our base scenario, we will be comparing having 24-hour bus public transport only along the EDSA carousel, which is what is being done. And the alternate scenario would be a few, at least 2 recommendations of routes that would maximize the accessibility of our specified areas of settlements, commercial and industrial or well, industrial, yes, for the BPOs areas. And for the second topic, I'd like to pass it on over to Resi if you're available.
Yeah, but I just can't open my video right now because of
It's okay.
I'm just using my mobile data to connect. So the second topic will be the Barangay Mantivo, Cebuco, Zamboanga del Norte to Barangay Vitali, Zamboanga City Diversion Road with community shuttle system. But this is a proposed infrastructure for fiscal year 2025 next year for feasibility study. So it's the comprehensive project encompasses the construction of a 32.46-kilometer concrete road, including 2 bridges, linking Barangay Mantibo and also Barangay Vitali. And then connecting to province, Zamboanga del Norte and Zamboanga City. So this initiative is complemented by the integration of a community shuttle system, aiming to enhance regional connectivity and also local mobility, addressing transportation challenges and stimulating, yeah. And then recognizing the need for an inclusive transportation approach, the project incorporates a community shuttle system to cater the local mobility needs in the area. And the road infrastructure will not only connect distant areas, but also ensure seamless transportation within communities. And just to give you a background, Cebuco and around this area, Zamboanga del Norte, is identified as NTFL-CAC. Uh, I think just last month they have cleared the area because there are many NPAs before here around the area, but they said that it's already safe. So they wanted, or most of the communities here, small barangays and everything, wanted the road project as well since they don't have any connectivity to the national road. And then next slide, please. So the objectives will be road connectivity, community shuttle system, economic and social development as well. And then the benefits, possible benefits will be holistic connectivity, local mobility solutions, and economic synergy. Next, please. So the evaluation criteria will be financial and economic evaluation, and through traffic impact assessment as well. But I think we will be incorporating developmental assessment or evaluation, and then game theory, and then decision theory. So by integrating a community shuttle system, the project not only address the long distance connectivity, but also ensures that the benefits of the improved transportation extend to the daily lives of the communities along the route or the route, fostering a more inclusive and resilient regional transportation network. Since DPWH only continues just to build roads, but we're not this is the first time, if ever, we will be incorporating a community shuttle system along those isolated communities. And then the alternate scenario will be just removing the shuttle system. Then next. This is just the map, additional maps for it. And its connectivity to the national road. Okay, next, please.
Thank you,
Miss
Resi.
Christine.
Yes.
Thank you, Miss Christine. Okay.
Thank you. So our last tentative topic is the PASAMA or PASAMA Floating Bike Expressway. So PASAMA stands for Pasig San Juan Marikina Floating Bike Expressway. So this is a project that envisions a transformative infrastructure that combines sustainability, recreational elements, and improved urban mobility. The floating bike expressway will traverse the rivers of Marikina, Pasig, and San Juan, offering a unique and eco-friendly mode of transportation for those who live and work in NCR. So we have been plagued with traffic congestion, limited green spaces, and the need for additional transport corridors. And we hope that PASAMA can be one of those solutions to address these by utilizing the Pasig River, San Juan River, and Marikina waterways to create a floating bike pathway promoting alternative and eco-friendly modes of commuting. It will be still fresh in others' minds that there was recently a proposal by the San Miguel Corporation to actually build an expressway, but primarily for cars. So this one would be a floating bikeway on the rivers. So we hope that by making it a floating expressway, it will not require as much cost, such as right-of-way acquisition or land acquisition. It will be more eco-friendly, so it can be modular or adjustable in case the tides are higher, the water level, sorry, is higher. And it can also be reconfigured to go to different areas. And of course, there will also be a recreational and community integration. So overall, we want to advance sustainable mobility options such as cycling for people to make their trips. There will also be recreational opportunities and scenic connectivity, especially since there is an initiative by the First Lady herself, Miss Liza Marcos, to improve the Pasig River esplanade and riverbanks. So this will the evaluation criteria for this will be the compatibility of the infrastructure, its environmental impact, community engagement, financial viability, and economic and tourism impact. So we will primarily be comparing the different alignments and the different infrastructure that we can utilize for this kind of bike expressway. So currently, the base scenario is that Pasig River is solely used for short route passenger ferry services. I think they have around 11 stations, and they operate every hour, from what I remember. So the alternate scenario would have dedicated floating bike expressways, so it's not dependent on the service plan of the ferries. So this ends our presentation. Thank you.
Very interesting. Okay, so is there any comment, question, probably suggestion to this group from other group? Go on. Anyone?
Hmm?
Hmm? Okay, so I have a few comments. No? So first topic, Metro Manila night bus project. I think the main issue is safety, isn't it? Right. So in many years ago in Bangkok, so learning from other countries' experience. So to perceive the safety experience, so they put woman drivers or woman navigator in the night bus like this, or they also put a security guard on the bus. So this is just to perceive. And then for the second topic, I think the main part is actually the bridge and the road, right? So the community shuttle system, I guess, is just an additional benefit for this thing. Uh, if you want to choose this topic, I think the largest benefit will come from political and defense. Yeah. So you can compare before, if we don't have this road and if we have. Okay, what will be the impact in terms of the political, for example, unity of this area, and second, also from the defense perspective. So that is very nice. The third topic is actually very innovative. So right now only have a ferry there in Pasig River, and it go from Marikina up to Pasig, isn't it? Or even Makati.
Yes, actually, the Pasig River traverses Manila, Pasig, Marikina,
In,
Taguig.
correct.
Actually, very
So
nice.
very long. So if this can be put up to the central business district, I think this is a very excellent project as well and very innovative. Nah? I think very rare to happen in any other countries. So the question is, who will invest in this?
Actually, sir, that will probably be part also of our study. What are the possible modalities to implement it? Would it be a public-private partnership or some other modality?
Okay. So the three topics are very interesting and very nice, each of them. So you need to choose on your own. Okay, which one is the one that you will use for this class? Okay, the three of them are really interesting. Each have strength and weakness, but you need to choose on your own. What do you think? Which one you will choose, or you need some time to think?
I think, Prof, we need some time, but especially for the first the first and the third topic, I'm still checking on the data sets that we have internally in the OTR because we do have some OD data already for the Pasig River, but only the Pasig River area, not yet the San Juan and Marikina.
I see. So, depending on the availability of data and other consideration, please decide which topic you want to choose. Okay.
Yes,
That
Prof. Thank you.
the three of them need have a feasibility study and include the financial.
Yes, we will include. Thank you, Prof.
Thank you. Okay. Super. Okay, next, who will present? Mm, Finish. So, who haven't? We have 12. So, maybe fourth group, right? So two more groups. Anyone? What happened?
Sir, our group can present now.
Okay, okay.
Let me just share my screen.
Okay.
Um, so sir, for our tentative topics for the group project, first of all, I'm with James and Neil. So we came up with two tentative topics for our group project. Oh. So for the first topic pertains to a the creation of a dedicated shuttle service program in BGC, or in the Central Business District of the Philippines. So our primary objective here is to reduce the number of cars going to and from the Central Business District, and to shift away from a car-centric modes of transportation, and in the process perhaps create more spaces for pedestrians and cyclists, and also in the process to improve the overall health and air quality of Metro Manila. No? So our proposed some sort of methodology that we are thinking of is first estimating the demand and the financial feasibility of this dedicated shuttle service program. No? So our base scenario would be the current status quo, wherein the private car owners would continue to use their cars for traveling to and work, while commuters will continue to travel through public utility vehicles. The alternative scenario one, it's a one type of dedicated shuttle service program. It's a park and ride type of program, wherein in this scenario it involves the development of a dedicated shuttle service program that would allow users to park their car in a predetermined location, and from there they would go to the shuttle service program, and then the shuttle service program will go to their place of destination. The alternative scenario two is also a shuttle service program scenario, wherein the shuttle service will serve as a public transport service vehicle. So in this particular scenario, the shuttle service will travel in near residential areas, and they will bring the employees directly to their destination. So the idea is the main economic benefit for this project is to reduce the vehicle operating costs, and whatever savings that the users would get from not using their cars, they can use that to pay for the public service or the shuttle service program. Right now, we are trying to assess if this type of program will be a pure user fee-based
Mm.
program wherein or if there's going to be a need for a subsidy from the government. So that's our first topic, sir. And then the next one will be our second topic will be about the modeling flood resilient transportation strategies for Manila alternative traffic routes. So what we want to do is to as we all know, road networks are vulnerable to natural disasters because its impacts greatly affect the travel conditions. So naturally, after the occurrence of a disaster event, some areas will be less accessible. So what we present here are two ways to improve the alternative traffic routes in Metro Manila. So the base scenario represents the current status quo, wherein the alternative traffic routes in Metro Manila would have no specific improvements or flooding. The objective is to minimize the overall vulnerability, considering distance, capacity, and evacuation time as factors. Under the alternative scenario one, in this scenario, there is going to be an improved drainage systems in the alternative traffic routes. So this scenario introduces an improvement factor on the road segment to account for the enhanced drainage systems. So again, the objective is to minimize vulnerability while factoring in the effectiveness of drainage improvements. Under alternative scenario two, this involves the elevation of road construction. So in this scenario, it introduces a variable representing the height of the elevated roads. So again, the objective is to minimize the vulnerability by considering the distance, capacity, and the height of elevated roads to mitigate flooding impacts. As to how the financial viability of this project, we are still thinking how it's going to be financially viable because it appears that it would really need government expenses, government budget or subsidy to fund the two alternative scenarios that we have in mind. So unlike the scenario one, it's going to be difficult to structure this project as a pure user fee based project. So I think, sir, that's the end of our presentation.
Mm. Um, so two alternative. One is shuttle service. Is that correct? And then
Yes, sir.
one is
For the yeah.
flood resilient. Okay, good. So, is there any comments, suggestion from other groups? Anyone?
Hello.
Yes, Christine.
Uh, I'm just a little curious how you will consider the institutional implications of running a shuttle, because I believe you have to get permission from the well, it's like a franchise. You have to get the franchise from the LTFRB to run a route where you charge people fares.
Right.
So yeah, that's just a consideration I'd like to highlight. Thank you.
Right. Thank you. I
Okay, Christine.
think we haven't thought about the institutional analysis of this particular project. Perhaps two scenarios would be number one, it's purely privately operated, and then number two, it's a national government project, perhaps undertaken to a public-private partnership. So, but we haven't touched that institutional aspects of the project yet. But I think that's a good point.
Anyone else? Comment, suggestion? Thank you, Christine. Hi. A few comments for me. So, you talk about park and ride and then public transport in BGC, isn't it? Isn't that already exist?
I think, sir, there are existing buses that are going to BGC, but those aren't really dedicated shuttle service program that go from your place of residence all the way to, let's say, your office building.
Oh, what's the difference with the current existing?
If I'm not mistaken, sir, some of the buses, let's say for example, coming from Quezon City, will stop in particular central points in central points in BGC, but it's solely designed for commuters. What we have in mind is a shuttle service program that's specifically designed also for current private car owners.
Within BGC.
Yes, sir.
Oh. So basically, this is what you want to do is actually a mode choice survey. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And then you want to get the willingness to pay, something
And
like
then
that,
demand. Yeah.
demand. So okay, uh, I think it's doable, including the public transport and park and ride.
Yes, sir.
Okay, and then compute the feasibility study of that. The second part, I'm not clear. What do you mean by elevated road? And then you said that this is actually cheaper than alternative one, which is drainage. In my understanding, elevated road is kind of kind of bridges, isn't it? Isn't that more
Yes.
expensive? So how can it become cheaper than drainage? Can you explain what's the
Um,
meaning?
it's not
Or
about not looking at the cost, but we will look at the cost or between the two alternative scenarios. But in terms of the benefits on reducing vulnerability of the alternative traffic routes, I think both scenarios have different benefits.
I think you need to consider both cost and benefit,
Okay.
right? And then check which one is actually uh, at least financially feasible. And then you talk about economically feasible, right? If
Great,
you
sir.
choose this one. So among these two, which one you prefer?
Right now, sir, I still have to talk with my group mates, but if it is my choice, I prefer the first one.
Okay. Yeah. Mm. Yeah, depends on the availability of data. The first one, I think you need to collect the data on your own,
Right, sir.
right? Okay. In that case, you need to present your questionnaire for next meeting, not
Yes,
this,
sir.
not next presentation. If you
Right.
are choosing this, okay, great.
Right, sir.
Okay, thank you, thank you. Is there any other comments from other group for this group? James, Neil, and Aaron. Okay, thank you. Super. Ah, okay, next group.
Hello, Prof. Good evening po.
You-
Am I loud and clear, sir?
Loud and clear.
Okay. Let me share my screen po.
Okay.
So we will now be presenting our proposed research topic. This is a very this is a very brief presentation because what we indicate is just the base scenario and the alternative scenario. So our first topic is the UNCA flyover. So for the base scenario, so UNCA flyover is a 453.7 linear meter, 17 span and 4-lead flyover that straddles Pavia town and neighboring Iloilo City to make travel to and from the Iloilo Airport faster and easier for local and tourists. So, but the flyover was only used for 2.5 months before it was closed when drivers and passengers questioned its structural integrity as cracks were found and there were displacement and sinking of the three piers. So, with the flyovers closure, the traffic congestion worsened, especially during peak hours in the morning and early evening. It suddenly reopened last September 2023 to light vehicles only to ease the heavy traffic during rush hour. So for the alternative scenario, first is extending the operating hours of the UNCA flyover, and secondly, implementing a number coding scheme that will restrict private vehicles from passing the flyover based on the last digit of the vehicle's plate number. For the next proposed topic, this will be discussed by Ms. Junavi. Thank you.
Hello, good evening, everyone. Am I audible?
Yes, yes.
Thank you. So for the second topic, it's the Guimaras public transport. So as base scenario, Guimaras Island or the province of Guimaras is composed of, it's a small island and is composed of 5 municipalities, namely Hordan, Nueva Valencia, Sibunag, San Miguel, and San Lorenzo. Has 42 islets, and currently it is one of the prime destinations of local tourists and travelers in Western Visayas. Based on observations with the Guimaras Island, public transport is quite an issue in terms of, for particularly going to the specific municipalities at the same time tourist destination. Currently, this province is aiming to develop a planned tourist circuit. However, to transportation facilities or supply or support to the population and tourists is still an issue. As of now, there are available transportation transport. However, it is limited. So most of the population uses tricycle, jeepney vehicles, and hired van. So it does entail a lot of higher cost if you hire a vehicle, hire van and tricycle going to another town or municipality in this province. So as an alternative for this issue on the Guimaras public transport system is to, of course, introduce public bus to support the demand of the transportation for local population at the same time tourist population. And second is the introduction of intermunicipal public boat transportation system for easy intermunicipal travel, since most of this municipality can also be accessed by boat. And however, this is not yet introduced among the municipalities of the province of Quintas. That's for our topic 2 for our group, sir.
Is there any other topic?
I think, sir, we only have 2 proposed topics.
Okay, so is there any comment, suggestion, or question from other groups? Go ahead. No comments?
I have a question
Oh,
about the Ongka flyover. Is it okay if we go back to the slide? I see here that the other alternative is the implementation of a coding scheme, but it was mentioned earlier that one of the big concerns is safety, the structural integrity of the flyover. So I'm not sure if it's worth considering still using it. So maybe another scenario could be not using it, and maybe another scenario also could be fixing it.
Hi,
Does that
ma'am.
make sense?
Yes,
Hmm.
ma'am.
Like
That's
retrofitting or
Yes,
replacement?
retrofitting. Yes,
hello. Yes,
exactly.
ma'am. Actually, ma'am, the reason why we chose this alternative because their government is not, you know, ayaw, they don't want to repair it as a whole. They just want to repair it by parts. So our alternative is we while they are repairing it, we still can use it. That's why we chose this alternative. Based from experience, my suggestion also is to fix first the bridge or the flyover before allowing it for usage again. But according to Ma'am Junavi, who is from that area, their government or LGU doesn't want that solution since it's already constructed. Another budget if we fix it from start of, because the main problem here is the foundation itself, not the bridge only. So that's why.
Just to add lang, sir, no, currently there is a proposal actually to um, repair, but only part of it, the Ungka flyover. So they cannot repair. The proposal for the repair of this Ungka flyover is actually part only of the bridge that is the flyover that is affected, uh, or the problem in that flyover, since a lot of money has already been poured to this project. So the solution of the government is to repair the parts that are problematic. That is according to the proposal that is being pushed by the LGU or the region for the repair of this infrastructure.
Um, okay. Is there any other comments or suggestion? Probably. I was thinking if the main issue is actually foundation and of the construction in the first proposed topic, why your base alternative scenario is actually only extending operating hours and then coding scheme, which only address the traffic congestion, not the main problem. So uh, if you want to choose this topic, so I think you better also analyze the risk. For example, if there is a uh, you know construction failure and it might kill people, okay, so you should do risk analysis in terms of possibility of these things to happen. So that is actually one of the alternative that you need to analyze, no? The risk analysis. And the second proposed scenario seems straightforward. So the problem probably is just the data, right? So if you have a data, then you can choose this. Seems like more cons than the first one. But the first one is more challenging in this case if you add the risk analysis. No? But if only coding and extending hour, I think that is rather too simple. Anyway, you can also use. My suggestion is to add some kind of risk analysis to address the real problems, okay? So that you can start to contact the government. This is what happened if you don't do, and this is what happened if you do. Our analysis is to persuade the decision maker in this case the government, right? To see what is actually might happen or potential might happen if they don't do what they need to do. Okay. Right. So among these two topic, which one you want to select or you want to consider first sometimes? Do you need the time to decide or you want to decide it today?
Hello, sir.
Yes, Jennifer.
Sir, I think we still need time, I think, to decide, considering your suggestion with regards to the first topic, considering the risk of, by considering the risk of these
Right.
interest. At the same time, the second one is, of course, the problem here is probably the problem that we can encounter is the availability of data
Right.
from the province. So, sir, we will think more and we can.
Right.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
So please make decision before the next presentation. Okay.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Okay. So thank you very much. I think that's all, right? 4 groups only. Is there any group that did not present it? Great. Okay. So make the assignment, but I think make a mistake. So I did not put grade at all. So you can resubmit again after some times. Of course, when you resubmit means per day you get a deduction of 1%, right? So those who get 100, so please, any of you, you can present so that it will inspire the others.
100%, sir.
Yeah, proceed.
Okay, okay, I'll just share my screen. Sorry. Can you see my screen?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, sorry. I'm just checking Gimara's earlier. But where's my sorry, I'm trying to find my there you go. So this is my homework. So the problem is I am an individual. This is an actual scenario actually. I am an individual looking to purchase a condominium unit, and my decision is influenced by the relocation of my current office. My current office is in Port Area, Manila, near Intramuros. And the office is about to move to the DPWH office in EDSA Centris, Quezon City. Currently, it's the DPWH 4B, regional office 4B office location, but we are targeting to move there by 2028. I think it's under the design and engineering design. The design is already proposed and it's already under going for funding for the civil works. And then the goal is to choose the most suitable condominium unit based on various criteria, like considering unit details, financial details, proximity to the new office location, and accessibility to transportation modes and also the travel time. So the criteria, I have read that at least maximum of 7 criteria. So I have to compress the criteria that I have created. So the first one is proximity to new office. It measures the distance from each condominium to the new office in EDSA Centris. So a lower distance score indicates closer proximity. And then nearest transportation mode, existing and future. So it's evaluation of the availability and convenience of existing and future transportation modes like MRT, bus stops, etc. near each condominium. Then the third one I considered is minimum number of transportation modes. It's the consideration of the minimum number of available transportation modes needed to commute to the new office. And then the maximum travel time, average in minutes. So the maximum acceptable travel time in minutes, longer travel times receive lower scores. So the next one is the unit type, of course. Description of the type of units available in each condominium, like do I need a 2-bedroom, do I need a studio, or do I need a 1-bedroom condominium? And then the area size, indication of the size of each condominium unit in square meters. And then the financial details, the first set of criteria that I have created includes this, but I just compress it into one criteria, which is a collective criterion covering financial aspects, including the list price of the condo, the down payment, monthly payment, ready for occupants here, and bank financing, monthly amortization. So this criteria now provides a clear distinction between unit-related details and financial considerations within the property details category. And then the alternatives, I limited my alternatives to DMCI. All of these are DMCI, the Crestmont, the Erin Heights, and what's this? What's the other grade? Cameron Residence. So I just put the layout there so I can have a picture when I put scores for them. And then I also put the location map. This is the new DPWH central office. You can see it in the map. The Cameron, the Crestmont, and the Erin Heights. So you have a better picture of how far or the distance of each condominium from the new office. And then the property financial details, I also put it here in my slide. I mean in my Excel file, so I have an idea. Yeah, of which condominium has the lower or the lowest price list or financial attractiveness. And then I put the details here from the Crestmont, Erin Heights, Cameron, 1.8 kilometers, 9.4 kilometers for Erin, etc. And all the other details. And then the instruction is to put a range. So for each criteria. So you have what I put it here is it's a subjective score that I've put for my range for each criteria. So you have 1 to 9 for farthest to closest proximity to new office, and then 5 to 10 multiple modes required. The lowest will be 5, and then if it doesn't it's just a walking distance, then I put the highest number 10. So it's an advantage if you get a higher score for that. Same also, 1 to 3, 2 modes needed, 2 no mode needed. And then 1 to 10, you will get a score of 1 if it has the longest travel time. So if shortest travel time, it will get the highest score of 10. Same with the size. The bigger the better. So lowest score will be 6, highest score will be 10. And then the property details area size or pertaining to size again. So the lowest score will be 4 from the smallest area, and the largest area will get a 9. So 5 to 10 for the financial details. Lowest least price, highest. Yes, sir.
Wait for a moment. Can you all see these details? Okay, that she put here are actually different units. Yeah, One is kilometer, the other one is in minutes, okay, and the other one is nominal. Can you see?
Yes.
And then the other one is in pesos, right? So this is very interesting. You can have many different units for each criteria. Okay.
Yes.
Then she can put everything together into ordinal scale in this case. Right. Go ahead,
Yes.
Tracy.
So the next one is you remember we have discussed the MCDM, the four techniques there. So the first one I did is that's putting subjective score based on the range I have put here. So Erin Heights receive the lowest score because of the distance from the new office is 9.4 kilometers. And Crestmont receives the highest score, the 9, from here, from this range. So it got the highest score. So etc. And I have put all the scores for each based on the range. And then I computed for the minimum for each condominium, the minimum score. And then I also get the maximum score. And then the difference. This will be utilized later in normalizing our scores. So for the simple score base, you just have to add everything for each condominium, for each option or alternatives. You will have to get their sum, and then from their sum, you just have to divide it from the total sum here, the total sum of the three for each. So you get the normalized score of 44.4, 44% for the Crestmont, Erin Heights 23%, 31% for the Cameron. So the next one is to actually, since you have just the raw score here, now we have to put the subjective judgment. I just have what judgment for if it's a very important criteria, if it's a moderately important, less important, and not important. So the score equivalent is the higher the better as also. So if it's a very important criteria, it will receive a score of 4. So, and then getting the weights from the total score for each one. So that's how I computed for the total weights. And then normalizing it. So the first one, you have to use the scores that I have used in this one, in the simple score base. And then you will use the minimum and maximum. Yeah, there you go. The minimum and I don't know how to minimize this. So the computation will be the score minus the minimum. Yeah, it just simply, the idea is if the score gets the lowest score, when you normalize it, it will get a score of 0. So minus the minimum over the difference of the minimum and maximum scores. So that's how you normalize it. That's why the Crestmont, generally the Crestmont got the highest score for every criteria. So you can see that it's when you normalize it to 0, 1, like 0 to 1, or 0 like 1% to 100%. That's the idea. So it gets the 100% score here. And then Cameron also. So, and then when you normalize it, the score increases as well because of normalizing. And then the normalized score with weights, you will have to use the weights here that I have generated. So what will be the impact from multiplying this score to our weights. So the score you generated here, you have to multiply it to the weight that you have created or generated also here. So generally, normalization normalizing the score helps maintain the relative differences between alternatives, but on a standardized scale, which we have standardized it from 0 to 1. And then weight impact, the weights influence the overall preference, emphasizing the criteria deemed more important in decision making. In this case, factors like proximity and transportation mode heavily influence the decision. So the Cresbon consistently performs well, and the weight adjustment reflect the criteria's relative importance in the decision-making process. So you can see that the score here, 60.34%. When you put the weight, the respective weight, it decreases to 58.14 because of its, I think because of the list price. Here, it has the highest price. So that's all, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Excellent. So, is there any comment or a question to Resi? Or to me? It's fine. I think one more. Is there anyone want to present? Those who get 100. So
Sir, I can present mine, but it's very simple.
no problem.
Okay, I will share my screen. Is my screen visible?
Yep.
Okay. So for this one, the goal is to purchase a Toyota van for both family and business use. So my family, it's quite big. There are 6 of us, and then we have 2 dogs, so 8. And then we also have a family business where we deliver rollers and other machinery equipment of high value. So that's why we like enclosed but dual purpose, because it's our family business is just like small to medium size. So yeah, we don't really hire that many people. So it's mostly just my family and a few employees. So the goal is to maximize the value for money. And the criteria we chose are price, cargo space, accessories, and model year. But I think I took out model year. Oh, and I changed this. Sorry, I think there's a different version. But the final criteria were initial price, cargo space, and comfort. And then I already assigned weights, subjective weights, because we already agreed as a family that price is actually the most important criteria. So we're very price sensitive. Cargo space, not as much, because they're actually the same, almost the same size vehicle. It's really just the layout inside that changes. And then comfort, this pertains more to the accessories, the type of seats inside. So it's not super important to us because we like to be more practical. And then the data points for the alternatives. So we have 3 alternatives, a GL Grandia, a Super Grandia, and a Super Grandia Elite. So here you can see their prices, 2.3, 2.8, 3.2. And then here is the range. And then next we have the cargo space. So I already assigned values that I saw fit. So for example, the range is 1 to 9. So the more cargo space, the higher it scores. So like the GL Grandia, because the seats are fully removable and easily removable, it got a 9. While the Super Grandia, it's more difficult to remove the seats, while the Super Grandia Elite, it's really difficult. But it's still possible to remove the seats. So that's why I assigned these scores. And then similarly for comfort, I assigned also a value from 1 to 9, with 9 being the most comfortable. So the Super Grandia Elite, as the most expensive, it had the best accessories, the best seats, and then just a little, not really at the lower end, but with a little less of the premium, like top of the line accessories, was the Super Grandia. And then we had the GL Grandia, which had the necessities, just enough for us, but good enough. So something like that. So as you can see, my ranges, in my ranges, the units are very different. So there's price, and then there's also value. I forgot how to call it. Ordinal. Ordinal. So since it's not the same, I remember in one of the slides of Professor, there was something like it's better if they're similar. I think like all high is good, something like that. So I had to check whether it was beneficial or not. So beneficial meaning the higher the value, the better. So when it comes to price, the higher the value, it's bad. So it's not beneficial. Parang the question is like, it questions the benefit of it. So, and then for cargo space, the higher the better. So yes, beneficial. So why is this important? This is important when you normalize. Because when you normalize non-beneficial, here, I'll click this one. Yeah. You will see that it is visible. You get this one, you get the lowest, and then you divide it by the respective values. So here, out of the prices, the lowest is 2.3. So you get that value, and then you divide it by the initial price. And then so for Super Grandia, the same thing. The lowest of the three is, well, it's constantly this. So you divide this by the price of the alternative. So there you get the normalized values for it. So same thing for this one, there's 7 is this, so it's the lowest price. And then you do the opposite for when the criteria is beneficial. So for this one, you will see here that 9 is the highest. So you actually get this value, you get this value, and then you divide it by 9. So that's why it became 1. And then this one, you get 5, and then you divide it by 9, and you get this. So that's how you get the normalized value for either beneficial or non-beneficial criteria. So that's something I just learned while reading the PowerPoint and the other resources. And then from there, I just used some product. It's a very helpful Excel formula. So to compute for the sum product of the normalized score against the weight I assigned. So you get the sums here below. And then from there, to normalize it, you take the value, the sum, sorry, and then just divide it by the sum of all three to get the normalized value. So that's why I ended up with 39.61 for the GL Grandia, 31.86 for the Super Grandia, and 28.53 for the Super Grandia Elite. So the decision ultimately became to purchase the GL Grandia. Thank you.
Yeah, super. Yeah. Look at the yeah.
Oh, sorry. I'll
Sorry.
share it again.
Sorry. Can you show again? So in the beginning, she put different units. No? One is using price, okay, and then the two other criteria are using ordinal scale, and then the direction is also not the same. Okay, and then she normalized to make the same direction. Okay? So when she's put beneficial and not beneficial, okay? And then finally she can put the normalized. In this case, the initial price, because she put very big weight, 85%. So practically the first criteria always win. Okay. And if you look at the value between 39 and 31, probably not so much different. Okay, so this is also something that you can start to consider again. Okay, yeah, thank you very much, Christine and Bessie.
Thank you.
Super. Yeah, I hope with this you can, those who did not submit and who get wrong, so please resubmit. Okay, thank you. So now I would like to discuss, have you ever learned about AHP, analytic hierarchy process? Yeah, okay. Then go to the model in Revolator, right? And then let's discuss about first AHP. Yeah? So this is okay, share. Okay. Can you see my screen? Yeah. Okay. So it, you can also find this material in my tutorial. So you don't need to buy. Okay, so it's the same. So ASP is well known. Okay, you can search in Google. So this is called analytic hierarchy process. Okay, the newest one is analytic network process, not just hierarchy. So, but the ANP, analytic network process, by the same author, is still not fully accepted. AHP is more well known. Okay. So let's review some decision making. So you already did the MCDM, okay, assignment. So decision making is just a process to choose among alternative based on multiple criteria. AHP is also the same. Yeah? This is an MCDM technique. Okay. So in this case, you have a goal, you have a criteria, and you also have alternative. Okay. So remember, you always have choice. In life, you always have choice. Okay. Okay, so this is the same as last time. So you can select the goal and then criteria and alternative that you put. Of course, alternative means at least you have two. If you have only one, that means you have no alternative. Always have at least two alternatives. Okay, because this is multi criteria decision making, that means you have more than one criteria, not just one. Okay? So at least two also. Now, when we talk about preference, the ordinal scale, so if we have a single criterion C, okay, and say you have two alternatives, A1, A2, then we said A1 is preferred to A2 using criterion C. Then we can easily choose A1, right? But the problem is similar to what Christine and Resi showed a while ago. Okay, there are, when you have multiple criteria, some of your preference may have conflict. Okay, so using criterion C1, A1 is larger than A2, but using criterion C2, A2 is larger than A1. So then which one you should choose? Okay. They choose by putting weight a while ago, right? So now ASP is not, okay. So ASP is a multi-criteria decision making developed by Thomas Saati. Okay, and this approach is based on pairwise comparison of alternative. Okay, for each factor to obtain the rating. Okay, what is the nice thing about AHP? remember last meeting, I discussed with you about measurement of scale, right? We have nominal, ordinal, interval, and then ratio. Do you remember? Last week, okay? And we said, okay, that from ratio you can go down. Okay? From ratio type, you can go down to interval, to ordinal, to nominal. But from the lower measurement of scale, you cannot go up. Right? For example, if you already have ordinal data, then you cannot put it that into ratio type, isn't it? Okay. So the nice thing about ASP, the innovative part of ASP is this. Yes? So you can derive ratio scale from ordinal per comparison. This is the innovative part of ASP. Okay? Yes, we cannot. In normal way, you cannot, right? Because you already lost the data. Okay, so this is an approximate approach to derive the ratios measurement of scale from ordinal or pairwise through comparison of two things. Okay, so in this case, you will create a hierarchy. Hierarchical structure is a tree diagram. Okay, so you use systematic method using hierarchy to structure your decision problem. Okay, so you create preference at various level of the hierarchy, and then later you combine this preference to help to make the multi-criteria decision. Okay, let's do it. Next, okay, let's give an example of purchase car. Okay, what are the alternative and what are the criteria? So this is the simple things. So I put buying car similar to just a while ago. So I have say economic, appearance, probably performance, capacity, and these are the three alternatives. Okay. So in this case, you create your decision, okay, your goal, and then in the first level, you create criteria. Okay. And then if you have more detailed criteria, you can have sub-criteria, no problem. And at the bottom, okay, when you want to use ASP, at the bottom are the alternatives. Okay. At the bottom, you will have the alternative. Don't forget that. Okay. Some students they don't understand ASP, so they don't put the alternative. They only put criteria and sub-criteria, but they forget the alternative. So then you cannot make decision. Okay, so remember, you have the goal decision at the top, and then you have criteria, and you can have sub-criteria, so on. But at the bottom, you always have alternative. And this line represent that, look, for each alternative, not necessarily you will put that criteria. Okay? When you have the line, that means you have that criteria is used for that alternative. Okay? The alternative for each, the criteria for each alternative is not necessarily the same for all. Each element in a level like this, okay, in the tree, have influence on the elements in the higher level. Okay. Next, this is the example a while ago. So the goal is to buy a car. So I have 4 criteria here. Okay, and then you have 3 alternatives. Okay, so then your data can be both objective or subjective. Objective means quantitative, ratio type or interval type. Okay, for example, you do some measurement, for example, the price, the weight, or you can have subjective opinion, okay? Or Likert scale satisfaction feeling. You can also put as Likert scale or preference. Again, these are usually ordinal scale. Now, another innovative part of ASP, okay, it allows you to be inconsistent, but up to 10% only. Okay, so we can measure our own inconsistency. So this is interesting. Okay, so okay, let's make you understand what is the meaning of pairwise comparison. Say you have two hands, okay, and you bring tissue, okay, left and right, okay, and then you touch both of them, then you will say which one is smoother in the tissue, for example. Okay, by doing comparison at both hands, okay, at the same time, then you can start to think to compare both easier, correct? Because at the same time you compare. But if you only one hand, you hold certain things, and then the other hand sometimes later, then it is difficult to compare, isn't it? So this is the concept of pairwise comparison. Okay, so in this case, you have ordinal scale, just simple 1 to 9, okay, similar to early, and these are the meaning of this comparison. So 9 mean extreme, okay? 7 mean very strong, 5 means strong, and then slightly is 3, equal is 1. Okay? There is no 0, okay? 1 to 9, ordinal scale. So in this case, which fruit you like better? Yeah? And then not only which you like better. For example, if you like banana better than apple, okay, you can say. But in this case, you need to also tell how much you like it better. Okay, so is it equal? Then you check 1. This is in the questionnaire survey. You can put like this. Okay. Two things in comparison. This is easier to check. Okay, so for example, I strongly favor banana to apple. Then the person will check here, number 5. Yeah? Banana, okay, on the right side. No? So equal is in the middle. Okay, so you choose strongly favor 5. Well, is this clear or not? Okay, say now you have suppose you have 3 choices. Now you have apple, banana, and cherry. Okay, then you need to put all combination. Okay, so if you have 3 choices, then of course you have 3 pairwise comparison, isn't it? So you need to compare apple with banana, apple with cherry, and then banana with cherry. How about if you have 4 choices? Then you will have 6 pairwise comparison. Okay. How about if you have 5? Then you have 10. So this table, okay, when you have 7 number of things, the number of pairwise comparison become very big. Already 21. Yes, it is harder. Okay, that's why don't put too much things. Okay, in the number of things that you want to compare should be small enough. Okay? And then if this is too many, you can put sub alternative so that the number of comparison reduce. Do you get the idea? Okay, so then you can put say, for example, level of importance. Okay, then you supposed to use scale of 1 to 9. So usually what we put in the questionnaire is only odd numbers like this. Okay, can I put even number? Well, what? No problem. Yeah, you can say for example 1 is equally important, 3 is weakly important, 5 is essential or strong, 9 is 7 is very strong, and then 9 is absolutely important. Okay, so the immediate value, intermediate value between them, you can also put. So 2, 4, 6, and 8. Okay, so now this is the idea of what is called reciprocal. Okay, if activity I, okay, has one of the above reasonable assumption of non-zero number assigned to it, okay, when compared to activity J, then J, it has the reciprocal value when compared to I. Okay, let me put it this way. Okay, Say, suppose you are making comparison between apple, banana, and cherry. Okay, so I will put here 3. Okay, that means what? Apple, I prefer, comparing apple and banana, I moderately choose banana. How about apple and cherry? Oh, I strongly choose apple. How about banana and cherry? Okay, very strong, I choose banana. Okay, so 3 answer. Okay, 3 criteria or 3 alternative, yeah, in this case, you create 3 by 3 matrix. Okay, so let's make a comparison matrix. Okay, in the diagonal element of the matrix is always value is on the left side of 1 in the middle. You put the actual judgment value. Now, if the judgment value is on the right side of 1, you put the reciprocal value. Okay, and then what you will do is the lower triangular matrix is just the reciprocal value of the upper triangular matrix. Okay, so I'll give you example so that you can get it clear. Okay, so here a while ago we make the questionnaire survey. Okay, ask the correspondent to choose this. This is the choice of the respondent. So okay, apple compared to banana. Okay, so on the right side, what you will do with if in the right side of 1 is in here, right, in the middle. So if in the left side you put actual value, if on the right side you put reciprocal value. Okay, so 3 in here is 1/3 reciprocal. Okay, how about 5? 5 is already on the left, so you 5, and then banana compared to cherry 7, so you put here 7. So up to here, is that clear? Okay, only the upper triangular that is the one that you simple, and then in the middle you put 1 1 1 1. Okay, you create a matrix. Okay, and then what you will do on the lower triangular, you just put the reciprocal. So this is 1/3. Now here become 3. Yeah? This is 5. This one in here become 1/5, and then 7 become 1/7. Like that. Is that clear or not? Now you get the comparison matrix. Is there any question? Okay, look at the value always. Yeah, AIJ here is always positive. Okay, and then it's a reciprocal matrix. Why? Because you see upper triangular and lower triangular is always reciprocal. Yeah, and then the middle always 1. Of course, apple compared to apple is what? Right? Equal. Right? Banana compared to banana is 1. Equal. Okay. Next. So we will create, okay, what is called priority factor. Okay. The real priority vector means you need to normalize the eigenvector of the matrix. Have you learned linear algebra? Yes. Okay, so if you are not familiar with eigenvector, eigenvalues, okay, you can go to my website in Revoledu and learn that linear algebra. I also put a calculator of eigenvector, eigenvalue there. Okay, so you can run. So priority vector should be normalized eigenvector of that matrix. Okay, so but to compute eigenvector of the matrix is very complicated. Even numerical value is so complex. Okay, so in that case, if you want to use Excel, okay, okay, you can have approximation. Okay, so if your number of matrix is just 3 by 3, okay, that is no problem. Okay, if more than 3, approximation approach may have rank reversal. So be careful. You should use the real eigenvector of the matrix. Okay, so let's see how do you compute in Excel for 3 by 3. Okay. So first, what you will do is you have the matrix already. Okay. What you will do is you sum all each column. So 1 plus 3 plus 1/5 become 21 over 5, and 1/3 plus 1 plus 1 over 7 is 31 over 31. So 5 plus 7 plus 1 becomes 13. Okay. So this is the sum of each column. Yeah. After that, what you will do, you divide each element with the sum of each column. Okay, so this is the element of 1. So 1 divided by 21 over 5. Of course, become 5 over 21. Okay, because you divide by the sum, the total is now 1. Okay, for each column, the total is now. Okay, after that, what you will do is to normalize, okay, by taking the average across each row. Okay, so this one, yeah, one, because 3 elements, so 1/3, right, of 5 over 21 plus 7 over 31 plus here is 5 over 13. Sum, okay, you will get this value. And of course, because this is normalized, so the sum of this must be 1. Okay, 28%, 64%, and then 7%. This is the ratio type. You see, earlier I just used ordinal type, right? So now you get the ratio type based from the ordinal. So this normalized principal eigenvector is called priority vector. Okay, and this is interesting, no? Now you know apple is 28%, okay, banana is 64%, okay, and then cherry is only 7%. So that means he likes banana. Oh, why this is ratio? Okay, so you can take the ratio of this value. See, 2.27 times. Okay, he likes banana. 2.27 times more than apple. Okay, and he also likes banana 8 times more than cherry. You see, you can take the ratio. That means you can divide. The ordinal scale you cannot divide. Remember, huh? You cannot even take minus and plus. But ratio type you can define. So this is very interesting. Okay. Up to here, is there any question? Okay, from that, okay, next step, this is just the first step, okay, still very long. Okay. So the next step is to create eigenvalues. Once you have eigenvector, you of course you need to get the eigenvalues. So the principal eigenvalues, okay, is obtained by the summation of the product between each element of the eigenvector, okay, and the sum of column of this reciprocal matrix. Okay, so in here what you will get is 21 over 5 a while ago that we already computed, multiplied by this 28%. Yeah, and then 31.21 divided by 21 multiplied by 64, and then 13 multiplied by this 7%. So when you sum all of this, okay, it becomes approximation of the principal eigenvalue, which is 3 point something. So this is the actual, if you calculate using MATLAB, for example, or Python, okay, so you can get the real value. Look at this. The first eigenvector, and this is the eigenvalues, okay, this is called the principal, and always real number for a comparison matrix, yeah, reciprocal matrix, and the rest may be complex number. Okay, the rest may be complex number. So these are in this our example. This is complex number. See, okay. So we don't care the complex number. We care only the principal, which is the real number. Okay, and if you look at the value, the real value is 3.06 3.49, but our approximation is 3.09. So, well, there is an error, but just very small error, so no problem. Of course, when your matrix is getting bigger, the error is getting larger. In that case, you need to compute the real eigenvalue or eigenvector using the appropriate software. Okay, so note that Professor Saati contribution is actually to prove that the principal eigenvector and principal eigenvalues of positive reciprocal matrix is always real and positive. So this is the real innovative idea of AHP. Okay, so and please take also note about the principal eigenvector. Yeah. You see here, principal eigenvector means the eigenvector that has correspond to the highest eigenvalue. Okay, the first one. Usually is already sorted. Okay, and if you took the sum, okay, it's 1.4081. Okay, and in that case, you need to normalize. If you get from MATLAB to make it correct, you need to normalize so that the sum is 1. So in that case, each of these value you need to divide by the sum. Okay, and then when you take this normalize of the principal eigenvector, this one, okay, compared to our approximation, again, it's very close. Yeah? You see, this is 27.9. Our approximation is 28. Close, 28%. Okay, now, now I want to explain the idea of what is called consistent. Okay, so the problem with pairwise comparison is, especially ordinal scale of preference, is transitivity. Okay, especially we want to do it into ratio type. For example, okay, say you have A1 is larger than A2, right? And then A2 is larger than A3. That if you say transitive, it will imply that A1 is larger than A3. Okay, so this is ordinal scale, no problem. Usually should be okay. But when you want to measure consistency in ratio type, this is what happened. Say A1 is actually 4 times A2. Okay, and then A1 is 8 times A3. That means, okay, if you put into ratio type, this A1 is the same as A1. So 4 of A2 must be equal to 8 of A3. Isn't it? Okay, mathematically. Right. So, but achieving such consistency is very, very hard. Okay. You try on your own later, okay? Try to do on your own to just check your own preference. And then you put your own numbers there. And to achieve this, very difficult to get the consistent answer, especially in the ratio type. Okay? In the ordinal type like this, transitivity is okay, but in the ratio, consistency is very hard. So in that case, ASP introduced deviation from consistency. Okay. So remember that consistent means transitive. Okay, so if A is larger than B, then B is larger than C, then you will say A is larger than C. Okay, but if you want to put strict consistent, okay, now you multiply, right? If Aij multiplied by Ajk, that means is strict consistent. That means this multiplication must be the same as Aik, isn't it? Look at the J and J here. Okay, so example, if B is larger than A by 3 larger than 1, and then A is larger than C, that means 5 larger than 1. You said consistent, okay, consistent only transitive, you will say that B is larger than C. Okay, problem. But if you say strictly consistent, then B must be 15. Okay, strictly consistent, you need to multiply this. Okay, So now look at this value a while ago. Is it consistent or not? Is it strictly consistent or not? Oh, how are we going to compute that? Right. Okay. So using ASP, we can start to compute. Okay. So using reciprocal matrix, okay, have property of the lambda max. Lambda max is the eigenvalue a while ago. The principal eigenvalues should be larger or equal than n. N is the number of rows or column in the matrix. Okay. Now, Professor Sati proved, again, mathematically, that consistent reciprocal matrix, okay, for consistent reciprocal matrix, the largest eigenvalues is exactly equal to the size of the comparison matrix. So this is the clue. Okay. In that case, okay, he can devise a new index. Okay, so let's call this consistency index. Okay, because if consistent, that means lambda max minus n should be 0, isn't it? Okay, so and then let's divide by n minus 1 so that you know it will not become it become a certain value. Okay, say if this is consistent, exactly this will become 0 ci. Okay, and then n minus 1 should be a certain value of positive, right? So consistency index or CI is a measure of deviation from the consistency. Again, this is empirical. Okay, so if less than 1, the CI is less than 0.1, that is 10%, the preference seems consistent. Okay, so let's take the example. A while ago, we have the largest eigenvalues, this one, right? And then n is 3, so you plug in into this formula. Oh, you get how many? Oh, 4%, right? So that means okay, consistent enough. Yeah. So my question is there any possibility that CI to be negative value? Is there any possibility that consistency index to be negative value? Yeah, if the lambda max is less than n, it will become negative value. But should not be. Okay, it should be positive. So usually lambda max is larger because not consistent normally. Okay, people are not consistent. So now Professor Sati also created what is called CR. What is that CR? Consistency ratio. Okay, because when he used only consistency index, okay, there are some problem if, compared to randomization. Okay, so in that case, let's put this CI divided by what is called random consistency index, RI, which is from this table. Okay, from this table. So then you will get what is called CR, okay, consistency ratio. This is the one that you will compare to the threshold of 10%. Okay? The one that you compare is not the CI, but the CR. Okay. Now, if the value of consistency ratio, okay, CR here, is less than or equal to 10%, then that inconsistency is acceptable. Okay. Now, if your CR, your consistency ratio is greater than 10%, maybe you need to revise the subjective judgment. Okay. Okay, based on experience using this, yeah, I've been using this from 99, okay, or 98 probably. So sometimes if your number of questions is so many, you cannot get even 10%. In that case, you need to adjust your own threshold. Instead of 10%, you probably want to 15% or 20%. Okay. If the number of comparison is only 3 or 4, no problem. When you start to have 7, very difficult to get even 10%. Okay, so this value, okay, actually help to put, yeah, so that you can get that better result. Okay, so the bootstrap, where it come from? It come from bootstrap, yeah? Meaning he generated random sampling, okay, to get this value based on the reciprocal matrix using this scale, yeah? Which is 1, 9 up to 9, okay, and then to get the random consistency index, so that you will get about 10% or less. He used random sample of 500 matrices. Yeah? So this kind of standard that you can just reuse. Okay, this value you can just reuse. Okay, so let's take example for 3. Okay, so this value is 0.58, right? So in that case, the value a while ago is 4% divided by 0.58, you get 8%, so higher. Okay, that means still less than 10%. So that is the subjective judgment of that person is consistent. Okay. Look at the CRI here. Okay. So if your value is the number of comparison is more than 4, okay, the division is larger than 1. If less than 4, the division is actually less than 1. Okay. So up to here, is there any question? Now, the step in AHP, okay, first you develop the rating for each alternative and each factor. Okay, so you develop the pairwise comparison matrix first for each factor. And then you normalize the matrix. After that, you take the average. The average value in each row to obtain the priority vector, right? After that, okay, you calculate that consistency ratio, okay, and then you, if you need, you can modify the earlier the data. Okay, it's nicer if you use kind of software or Excel that you can immediately ask. So during the interview, you can ask and then you can compute directly the consistency ratio. Okay? If the answer is actually larger than 10%, you can already immediately give feedback to the respondent. I think your answer is inconsistent. Then you can ask them to revise. Okay? If your questionnaire is on paper, it is rather hard to give feedback because you need to input first and so on. So the interview usually you can use a feedback system so that they can answer easier. Okay. Next step is of course develop the weight for the factor. Okay. So first you compare the factor. Okay. So you compare the factor. Okay. You normalize. You take the average. You take the consistency ratio. Again, the same. Okay. And then step 3 is to calculate the weighted average of the priority vector rating. Okay. After that, you can select the alternative with the highest average value. Okay. Again, if the CR is less than 10%, then you can see, okay, there is inconsistency in the rating, then immediately you should make modification. Again, it is better if you do it with a computer or a program during the interview. And this can be used either for individual or group decision making. Okay, it's the same. So, and then let's take the example of this data a while ago. Can you try on your own? Practice, anyone? Can you build the comparison matrix? Can you build the priority vector, compute the largest eigenvalue, consistency ratio, index, and consistency ratio? Is it possible? Okay. This is the data, just 3 by 3. You do it in Excel and then show it to me so that you will get the idea. Okay. The instruction, you can get this a while ago, the AHP. This one, right? In practice 2, the slide. So given this data, okay, can you build the comparison matrix and then compute the priority vector, compute the largest eigenvalue, and consistency index and consistency ratio? So given this data, what you will do? Exactly this one, yeah. So given that data a while ago, yeah. So then you will put the matrix, put this data into, okay? And then you will create this matrix. From this matrix, you compute the sum at the bottom, okay? And then you normalize, okay? And then you sum on each row. You get the priority vector, and then after that you get the eigenvalues, yeah, the principal eigenvalue. After that you get the CR, the CI. After that you get the CR. Okay, so for practice, I hope you can understand the whole steps. And if you have problems, so you tell me so that we can discuss it together in class. Okay. Given this data, can you make the comparison matrix? First steps. Okay, this is the data, just 3 by 3. Okay, apple, banana, cherry. And you put into matrix. Okay. Whatever value on the left, you put that value. Whatever value on the right, you put reciprocal value. Okay. And you only put the upper triangular. Okay. Once you finish that, so you fill up the lower triangular by the reciprocal value of the upper triangular. Anyone want to try? If you share your screen, I can help you. Okay. You have a problem. Come on. So that I will know your problem.
Prof,
Share
can
your
I try?
go.
But I've only, sorry, I cannot share my screen.
Oh, why? Oh, wait. Because you just okay. Okay, now you can share your screen.
Okay.
Okay, so
Prof, for this one, the upper
the upper is
diagonal.
correct. So because on the right side 3, so you get 1/3. Okay, and then cherry is 5, and then 7. That's correct. So now you go to the lower triangular. That one is equal to
Reciprocal of that.
just put equal, and then 1 over that one. That's correct. And then the same, that equal to 1 over 5, and then this one 1 over
7.
Yes. Okay, now you got that. What you will do next? Okay, you build the you already have the comparison matrix. So next, what you need to do is to create the priority vector. Okay, how to get the priority vector? So first, you need to sum. Yeah, you need to sum for each column. Okay, you go there. Yeah, the sum of you. Okay, on A5, you just put sum, and then okay, you sum all of the stuff here. Oh, okay, and then copy. Oh, very good. And then now that's the sum, right? So what you will do next? Once you get the sum, okay.
Divide by the sum.
Okay.
Number
So
column, Prof.
the for each of that. So for example, G2 in G2 you put equal of that P2 okay, equal of P2 divided by the sum. Okay. Now, because you divide by the same value, you put a dollar sign in 5. No. P. Yeah, P no need dollar. Okay. Now you copy to all. Right. Now you can check. Okay. Yeah. Now you can. Oh, finish too wrong. Why is 0? Divided by. Oh, you can put the fraction to up to 3 decimally. Custom of the fact. number format. In the fraction, okay, go to this one. There is a custom, right? Okay. Go to number format down, more number format down there. Okay, and then you select fraction there, and then you put 2 digit or 3 digit. Okay, click OK.
I should select of the cells.
Yes, correct.
Okay.
Okay. So 1/21, 3/, that's correct. Very good. Now you already got the normalized, okay, principal eigenvector. So then you take the sum to each row. You take the sum or take the average of each row.
Each row of
Each
this
row.
normalized
Correct.
matrix.
Of this normalized matrix equal average. Average of each row. Okay. And okay, that one is that is what we call as priority vector. So you can check the sum of these must be 1. The correct one. Yeah, okay. So you can also put into decimal value and or percentage so that see
Okay.
the average, yeah, the average. Okay, into percentage, percent. Right, so you get that. Okay, so this is what you need to put. Instead of average, can you name it priority vector?
Okay.
You get the priority vector. So what's next? You need to get the eigenvalue, yeah, the principal eigenvalue. Okay, so principal eigenvalues very easy, yeah. You just put lambda or any. The principal eigenvalue is lambda max. So that is equal to sum product of
Sum product of
sum product. Sum
the
S,
sum and the priority vector.
yes.
Okay.
Sum product of, yes, of that one, correct, and comma, yeah, and then the priority vector. Okay, close it. You get 3. Oh,
Maybe I'll convert this to number. Sum product of sum and priority vector.
should be okay. Why? Okay. If not, you can transpose first. Okay, you can transpose that, copy that, and then in column C, value, transpose as value. Paste as value, transpose. Okay, in paste you can see and then you sum product of 1 and correct. Okay, so you get the value is 3.095. So once you get this one, so you can calculate the CI, yeah, consistency index. So CI, consistency index, is lambda max minus 3 minus n, right?
Minus
Divided
what,
by
sir?
lambda max minus n
have the max minus n.
Okay, and then that one you put parentheses, put on the, and then divide it by,
Sir, sorry, the n here is the number of
n is in here is 3. N is the number of
3 elements.
rows or the
Apple,
number of columns.
apple, banana, and cherry.
Correct.
Okay.
So that one minus 3 divided by n minus 1, which is 2. So you put parentheses on, no, parentheses on the numerator and denominator. So this one is incorrect. Okay, and then also up. Okay, that one is good. Now you get about 4%. Now the CR, this is the CI, right?
Yes.
Divided by n minus 1 in parentheses. Yeah.
Okay.
Now this next is the consistency ratio. Okay, so in this case very easy. Just the consistency index divided by the RI. RI is come from the table in page 41. Because your n is 3, so the RI is 0.58.
Okay. So this RI is fixed, Prof.
Fixed.
Depending on the number.
RI. Correct. So in that case, that one divided by 0.58. Oh, so you get 8%, which is less than 10%. So consistent.
Okay.
Okay, clear or not? Yeah. Consistent because it's less than 10%. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so I hope this is clear.
Okay, Prof. Thank
Simple,
you.
simple exercise. Nah? Thank you. Okay, so let's go to the next. Now let's do. Okay, so question next. Is it possible to get CI with is 0, which is a perfect consistent? Is it possible to get CI, consistency index is 0, perfect consistent? Yeah. So I give several example in the slide. Yeah. This is a few examples. Again, 3 by 3. I put 7, 5, and 3. Okay. And then now I divide. Okay. Here this is my number, 7, 5, and 3. Okay. And then if you compute everything, right? So you get CI or CR, it is 0. Okay. So you can also try out here. Okay. So again, this one is another example. So I have 1/3, 9, and 5. Okay. So when I put there, you will get these values. Okay. And now input in the upper triangular of the matrix. Okay. Then you get consistency index, which is 0. So the point is simple. Yeah. It is possible to get 100% consistent or 100% inconsistent. Okay, so let's take the next example is comprehensive example. Now I have 3 level. Okay, now let's do it. A while ago it's just 1 level, isn't it? One matrix is 1 level. Okay, now I have 2 level. Level 0 is the goal. Level 1 is the factor. Say I have 4 factor A, B, C, D, and then the alternative is X, Y, Z. It is in level. Okay. So how are we going to combine in hierarchy, right? So we're supposed to create hierarchy. Remember? Okay. So this is how we make it. Huh? First, we make in level 1. Okay, we make the pair comparison matrix in level 1 with respect to the goal. So because we have 4 criteria A, B, C, D. So this is the value that we put. Okay, and then these are the priority factor, and then this is the lambda max for this matrix. Okay, and then you check the CR, which is 9% less than 10%, so is acceptable. Okay, so for level 2, look at the hierarchy again. For level 2, okay, we have 3 choices, but you have 4 factors. For now, that means you need to compute one by one. Okay, 3 by 3 matrix according to factor A, 3 by 3 matrix according to factor B, 3 by 3 matrix according to factor C, and then factor D. So you have many matrices. Okay, so with respect to factor A or criterion A, which one you choose, X, Y, or Z? Okay, with respect to a criterion B or factor B, which one you choose, X, Y, or Z? Okay, you do by respect comparison again and again. Okay, so say with respect to factor A, this is the answer. Okay, with respect to factor B, this is the answer. Okay? But with factor C and D, this is very small. Okay, less than 10%. So can I just ignore? Okay. Otherwise, I will ask too much question, right? So this is probably is already very big, almost more than 80%. So in this case, C and D, I just ignore. Okay, so I don't need to ask. Okay. The weight factor of C and D are very small, about 9 and 5%. So we can assume, okay, the effect of diffing them is actually negligible, so we don't use. Okay, otherwise we need to get the matrix of level 2 with respect to factor C and D. Okay, now with that we need to adjust the factor A and B so that the sum still 100%. Okay, so in that case I adjusted the weight of factor A, okay, which is come from 57 and 29. You can see here 57 and 29. Okay. The total must be 100. So I ignore factor C and D. So I need to adjust these two so that the total still 100%. So we normalize. Okay. So I get factor A now becomes 66%. Factor B now becomes 33.7%. Okay. With that, now we can compute the overall composite weight of each alternative based on the 2 levels, level 1 and level 2. Okay, so the overall weight is just the normalized of the linear combination of the multiplication between the weight and the priority factor. So look at this. A while ago, we have already factor A, this is the priority factor. Okay, with factor B, this is the priority factor. Okay, that is exactly what we will use. Okay, so we just put that in 66%, and then this is 33.7%, right? So then multiply with this priority factor for each factor, and then you get the composite weight. Yeah, this is just some products, okay, of the weight and its choice. So you get the composite weight, okay, this value, and now you get the priority factor for all. So you will see that choice A to choice Y for A is actually 3 times of this, almost 3 times of the Z. 49.49 divided by 12.78. You can make it into ratio. Okay. Now, how about the consistency ratio overall, okay, for the 2 level? In that case, you take the weight, the weight of the CI and then the weight of the RI. Okay. From we sum all the level, the weight of the CI and the RI in the denominator. So a while ago, this is what we got, the value from the table, right? This is the 66%. This is the weight from the table. Yeah, here, right? This is the 4% and 5% here is from this table. And you see, this is the CI for the table. Okay. And then this is also from the whole 8% here. Okay. You compare and then you put it into the overall. Okay. Then what you will get, oh, still 9%. Yeah. Again, less than 10%. So this is acceptable. Of course, this is example. So it's acceptable. Yeah. In reality, not necessarily acceptable. In that case, you need to go feedback loop again. Yeah? You check the value, why it is not consistent. Okay. Now, after that, you do what if analysis, goal seeking, and documents. Okay. So usually you can do also sensitivity analysis. Okay, based on this. So meaning for each of the factor, okay, when the factor change, what will be the result of the decision? That's the meaning of sensitivity analysis. Okay. So this is the summary. So you get all of this. Huh? So you know what is pairwise comparison and then comparison matrix, yeah, how to compute the eigenvector, eigenvalue, CI and CR. Okay. So please do it on your own so that the comprehensive example a while ago, so that you can compare with the slide, okay, so that you will know what is the full AHP. Okay. So if you compute this example, this is based on the many people question, yeah, from all over the world. Because I sell the books of ASP, so many people asking, oh, I have this result, and then why the CR become negative? So is it negative CR allowed? Not allowed. Okay. So when you do approximation, okay, the result is not correct, become negative. That is true. So, but when you use MATLAB and you calculate the eigenvalue and eigenvector, this is the result. The actual result is not negative. So the CR is actually 14%. Okay. So the conclusion from this is simple. When n is larger than 3, please use the actual eigenvalue and the actual eigenvector, not to use the approximation method. Okay. Another problem that often happen is they want to use Likert scale. Okay, which is not according to the original ASP. So they want to use 0 to 10 or Likert scale -2 to +2 in ASP. It doesn't work. Why that doesn't work? The reciprocal matrix must be positive matrix with no 0 or negative. So if you put 0 here, it will not. Okay. So why? The why is come from the theorem, okay, of positive matrix, which is guaranteed by this is very well known theorem. Okay. Remember, comparison matrix is positive matrix. Okay. So positive matrix usually always use this theorem. Yeah. Perron-Frobenius theorem will say that it will have positive real eigenvalue, and the maximum eigenvalue is between this row sum and column sum. Okay, so in that case, if you put 0 to 10, it will create 0. The same thing if you put negative, and then it will become negative. So in that case, the lambda is not positive. So you will get eigenvalue with this complex number, okay, unusable. So conclusion is simple: don't use this Likert scale. with have 0 or negative. Use the original value of ASP between 1 and 9. Oh, can I go beyond 9? That no problem. Beyond 9 is positive, so, but the minimum is 1. Okay. Okay, up to here, is there any question? So I hope with this you can do ASP. Probably for your group project or for other project or thesis. Yeah? So many will use ASP. This is quite clear. Okay. Okay, cool. If you have any question. Now, if you don't have question, I will continue with one more method today, Brown Gibson. Okay. With this, my point of this Brown Gibson is simple. Yeah. Can you see the slide of Gibson? So similar to ASP, Brown-Gibson method, okay, usually used in industrial engineering. Okay, it also uses pairwise comparison. Okay, it also uses pairwise comparison, but the difference is it quantify objective and subjective separate first, and then they combine. Okay, so similar to your MCDM assignment last week. Okay, so this is the same as earlier. So Brown-Gibson is also simple MCDM, multi-criteria decision making that combine subjective and objective criteria. Yeah. So originally used in industrial engineering based on this paper. Yeah, very old already. Okay, 1972. You can check this paper as well. So the technique is use binary pairwise comparison. Okay, using forced choice. Okay, I will explain later what's the meaning of forced choice. Okay, to determine the normalized rank and then the weight of subjective factor. So you separate between subjective and objective. Now, if you and then you use harmonic mean, okay, 1 over like reciprocal to determine the normalized weight of objective factor. Yeah, when you have the objective factor, you use this. And when you use the subjective factor, you use binary pairwise comparison. And then when you combine the two, you use learning formula. I will explain the three of them one by one. Okay. So the step is simple. First, of course, you select the feasible alternative. The alternative must be there. Okay, the criteria must be there. And then you compute the performance measure of your objective factor of each alternative. And then you also compute the performance measure for subjective factor for each alternative by considering each subjective factor. Okay. After that, you combine the two of them. And then you create the decision based on highest preference measure. Okay, let's take example so that you can see. Okay, say suppose you have to decide. You have 4 alternatives. The alternative is now ABC. Now you have only uh, uh, objective factor. Okay, and then there are several objective factor, and then 3 subjective factor, which is X, Y, and Z. Now, the objective factor, you put it into the usual benefit, because this is objective, so they are numbers, right? So for each, you get the benefit and then you get the cost. Simple, huh? So this is for your project, you can do that. You get the benefit, you get the cost. For benefit 1, benefit 2, and so on, these are numbers. Okay. And then for the objective factor, okay, you put in the common unit of cost. Yeah. For example, if you have uh, it's up to you to put any unit, okay, as long as they are the same unit. So that means you need to convert in the same units. For example, you can put into dollar or you can put everything into time. Yeah, you need to get the conversion factor, or you can put it into even kilometer per hour. Okay, if you think that is appropriate. After that, you use harmonic mean, yeah, to determine the normalized weight of objective factor. Yeah, say let's put this into cost. Say everything in US dollar, for example, and now I have C into cost. With smaller value is better, right? Of course, you want to reduce the cost, so smaller value is better. So now I get the objective factor OI, which higher value is better. So because this is cost and this is O is objective factor, I want higher value is better. So be careful, yeah, this is reverse. Okay, in that case, OI is, this is the formula, 1 over CI, this is the cost, divided sum of 1 over CI. Yeah. Okay, let's take example. Say you have only A, B, C, D, this is alternative. Okay, how to get the benefit out of the cost. Okay, so say the total cost is 5, 4, 3, and 6. You get this. So 1 over 5, okay, 1 over 4, 1 over 3, 1 over 6. The total is this one, right? Then you put that into this value. Okay, say so you calculate for each alternative. For A while ago, where is it? 5, right? This one, and then this one is 57 over 60. So 1 divided by 5, 57 over 60. How about B? B is, the cost is 4, and then again 1 divided by 4, okay, multiplied by 57 over 60. So if you look at this, the formula is the same. The only difference now is only the CI, because you can already get the sum of this, right? Correct. So now you can check. Okay, the sum must be 1. Yeah, 20 over 57, 15 over 57, 12 over 7, and 10 over 7. Yeah. So in this case, now you can check also that based on this value, which one is the highest? 20. Yeah, 20 over 57. So in this case, alternative C is the best among objective factor. Yeah, it has the highest. Next, how about the subjective? The subjective factor, you create what is called forced choice pairwise comparison. Yeah, so you compare the subjective factor in pair. Okay? For example, A is better than B. Then what you will do, A is 1, B is 0. If A is equal to B, then both of them is 1. Okay? You will never get A and B is 0, 0. Okay? So either 1, 0, 0, 1, or 1, 1. Yeah? Don't use 0, 0. So why we use pairwise comparison, the same as AHP? Okay? Because some respondents usually forget, yeah, have short memory about the feeling, opinion, right? And then it's easier to compare than to memorize, okay? Especially about the importance, satisfaction, and so on. I give you example a while ago, the softness of the tissue, even the smell, okay? So if you can compare immediately, they can easier to be asked their subjective opinion. So in this case, let's practice this. Find the relative importance of the three subjective factor X, Y, and Z if the answer is this. Okay. X is larger than Y, and then X is equal to Z. Okay. Remember, the answer must be transitive. Okay. Uh, uh, this Brown Gibson is preceding of ASP, so this is older than ASP. Okay, so there is no check of inconsistency and consistency. You can see here, I have X is larger than Y, X is equal to Z. Okay, now X is larger than Y. What you will do, you force them, yeah, 1 and 0. X is 1, Y is 0. when you said x is equal to z, so put 1 and 1. Now, why I call it force comparison, you only ask the two, okay? The third one you don't ask, you just derive, right? So that you will get transitivity, okay? Of course, when x is larger than y and x is larger than z, then z must be larger than y. So this, the one in blue here is derived. That means now you put 1 in here and 0 there. Is that clear or not to here? Okay, and then after that you just simple, no? You just normalize, no? Again, we always normalize, yeah. So you take the sum of each row and you normalize, so you get this, okay, value. So now you will say when y is compared to z, okay, it's not us because it's clear from the transitivity that z is larger than y. Okay, so I call this force, okay, force choice pairwise comparison, okay, using binary. Why force? Because you don't ask when it is not transitive. No? So you assume the transitivity. Is that clear or not? So unlike the AHP. Yeah? So remember, yeah, the transitivity is assumed there. So in that case, the danger of this ground crystal is the sequence of the question matter. Okay, the sequence of the question. For example, in that previous example, if you use x is larger than y, okay, and then x is larger than z, okay, in at this point you are not clear, right, whether y is larger than z or y is smaller than z or equal, actually equal. In that case, you need to ask the next question. So sometimes you ask, sometimes you don't ask. Is that clear or not? Okay. Based on the transitivity of the respondent, then if you can ask, you can get it, so you assume. If not, you ask. Okay. So how about the performance of the subjective factor? Because you already get that rank a while ago here, the relative weight important, this RI, okay, RIJ here, okay. So this is always between 0 and 1, right? So then you can put linear combination, yeah, with the weight of its uh, subjective performance. So this is example. Say, suppose you only have subjective factor x, okay, only one factor, and then you want to compare four alternative A, B, C, D, okay, and this is the answer of the respondent. So can you get the normalized ranking from the pairwise comparison? This is binary, okay. So can you derive the transitivity of this? A is larger than B. A is also larger than C. So put the pen, right? So I put A here, right? And then B here. Huh? So, and then A is equal to D, so D is also here. And then B equal to C, so C here. Oh, this is already clear. Huh? So this is already transitive, right? Then you can derive the transitivity that D and B, C and yeah? B is actually larger than B, and then D is larger than C. Okay, so based on that, you put everything here, and then you create the normalized run. Is this clear or not? Okay. So in the next practice also, if you look, okay, say you have only one factor, subjective Z, and then again you have four alternative. Okay, how you need to create the transitivity assumption, okay, based on this. Okay, so based on that, you need to derive these two in order to create the sum correctly. Is this clear or not? Okay. So the difficulty probably is to create this blue part. Okay. You need to check the to derive the transitivity assumption. Okay. Once you have that, that's easy. Yeah. Now, when you finish uh, uh, all of this, okay, you can combine, okay, everything, okay, into one. So say I have X, Y, and Z, these three factors, right? And I get the weight while ago, we already computed. Okay, and because this is weight is 0, so we don't need this, right? Then you just put the sum product of this. In this case, A is the best among the subjective factors, right? Now we can continue the same problem. How we combine the objective and subjective? Yeah, so we use what is called learning formula. Yeah? K is parameter between 0 and 1. So, and then you select the alternative. Yeah, what is the maximum P reference value? Okay, so say we decide K equal to 0.8. Okay, what is the best decision? So you put this one. Yeah, so this is the objective performance. This is the subjective performance. Okay, and then you put this value. Okay, and in this case, the best decision now become C. So this is a simple relationship. Yeah. So in that case, you want to do sensitivity analysis after this, okay? Because K can change between 0 and 1, right? So in that case, you do something like this. For each value of K, then you start to see, oh, if the more objective than subjective, right? In that case, I will select A or B or C. Yeah, the value of K is just the weight of subjective or objective. Okay, so the strength of Brown Gibson is this is just the same basic method of MCDM. Okay, they can combine both subjective and objective factor. Okay, very similar, okay, but actually simpler than AHP. Remember, if you look at the year, AHP is later than this one. Okay, so from the ordinal scale, you can also get the ratio scale similar. Okay, and you separate the objective and subjective. The problem is the answer must be consistent, transitive, and there is, if not transitive, then the result is actually doubtful. So in that case, AHP is better because it allows some inconsistency. Okay, so with this, can I give you to practice basically exactly the same problem that you put in last week for MCDM. Okay, you can choose whether you use Brown-Gibson or AHP. Okay, for the same problem. Okay, and then you submit it next week. Okay. Okay. Thank you very much for today.
Thank you, Prof.
Yes.
For the AHP, the apple, banana, cherry is the choices.
The alternative, yes.
The alternatives, okay.
Yeah, the factor, you set the criteria on your own. So, for example, sweetness, crunchiness.
Okay.
Okay, so thank you very much for today and see you next week.
Thank you, Prof.
Okay,
Thank you
bye-bye.
po. Good night po.
Happy weekend.